Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is the TradeStation Getting Started channel. And today we're going to talk about one of the platforms that TradeStation provides to give you a little bit of flexibility when it comes to where you're using TradeStation. It's a web trading platform, allowing you to take your trading account on any browser, meaning that you can use any computer where you're at in order to launch a browser and then access your TradeStation account. We're going to focus on that platform and answer some of the questions and demonstrate some of the capabilities of that platform. So feel free to ask any questions. The chat is open. You're welcome to communicate with me through there. One thing that I do ask for those of you that are joining me on Zoom is that you set your chat windows to all panelists and attendees if you're going to be sending any comments in. There's a little drop down right there at the bottom of the chat window. And if you are on YouTube, welcome everyone from our YouTube audience. We are broadcasting live on two different platforms, Zoom, which is using the You Can Trade community, and the TradeStation channel live stream. So welcome everyone. I'm going to be taking questions from both sides on this web trading platform. And if you have additional questions on any of the TradeStation platforms or any of our technologies, join me at 11:30. We have an open Q&A. We can talk about anything you guys want, but that's happening on You Can Trade. So for those of you that are joining on YouTube, just be aware that at 11:30, and that's Eastern time, we're going to do an open Q&A, and you can ask any questions about the TradeStation platforms. Again, you go to youcantrade.com and then access the Getting Started channel on the left navigation bar. It's a free class. Okay, so welcome everyone. Before I get started on web trading, let's go through some disclosures. Keep in mind that every symbol and idea that I talk about in this presentation is for educational purposes only. It is not a recommendation of TradeStation. Also, that active trading is not suitable for everyone, especially if you're trading options and or futures, which carry additional risk. When we look at past historical performance, this is no guarantee of future results, and we all need to be aware of the risks associated with trading online. For additional information on the disclosures, go to tradestation.com and you'll find all the information there. Let me talk to you a little bit about what we're doing at You Can Trade. TradeStation is the host of two different channels. TradeStation owns these channels. They're getting started with TradeStation. It's a free channel. Go in there. There's a lot of videos about how to get started with the different platforms. We are live every single Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning and then at 11:30 in the morning. So you get somebody to talk to, you get somebody to ask questions to, rather than having to wait on queue and trying to get your questions answered there. You can just join us every Wednesday at 10:30 and 11:30 in the Getting Started. It's a free channel. But once you're ready to take your TradeStation knowledge to the next level, we offer a premium channel, which is the TradeStation Masterclass. This is also available on youcantrade.com. You Can Trade is a subsidiary of TradeStation, and it's an education platform, and TradeStation is the host of two different channels. Masterclass is one of the premium offerings. We offer courses on strategy development, on easy language programming. We meet there live every single day, and the sessions are recorded. You can watch them at your convenience. We have more opportunities for Q&A. We do two of them on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we have special guests once in a while. So those are exclusive to the Masterclass audience. So if you haven't had a chance to go to You Can Trade and check out the content of the Masterclass, please do so. I'm sure you'll get some benefit from there, okay? So let's go ahead and get started on our presentation, which is web trading. I'm going to switch over to my web trading platform. And as I was saying, at the very beginning of the presentation, the web trading platform has that flexibility of you being able to open up a browser anywhere you are. It can be on a Safari, you can use Firefox, you can use Internet Explorer, whichever browser is the one that you are that you have selected as your preferred browser, you just have to go to tradestation.com, and that's all you need to do to access our web trading platform. Of course, you're going to have opened a TradeStation account and funded it so that you can have access to the platform. But I think it's just additional. It's just a very important step that everyone has to take. And for information on how to open a TradeStation account, just click on Contact Us up here, and you can get somebody on the phone to talk you through the process of opening up an account. But once you have a TradeStation username and password, all you need to do is click on Login right here at the top of the TradeStation website. You get different platforms that you can log into. And the one that I'm going to select here is a web trading simulator. Web trading comes in two modes. It comes in Trading Simulator and it comes in Trading Live. So just be aware of the environment that you're connected to, so there's no mistakes done. Okay. So I'm going to go to the simulator because I'm just going to be testing some functionality and showing you how to place some trades using web trading. All right, this is how my web trading login looks. Let me go ahead and enter my username and password. All right, and one of the things that happens on web trading is that it'll open up the same way that I left it last time I was using it. So as long as you continue to use the same browser, TradeStation creates some file here, and so you don't have to start from scratch again. Let me go ahead and answer to this. You also get this overlay. The overlay tells you what's new on web trading. Web trading updates automatically. Every time you log in, you get the newest version. And whenever there's a newer version, it tells you what was added. Okay, let me go ahead and get out of this modal. And this is the way that I left my web trading platform the last time I was using it. There is different things you can do to the web trading platform in regards to organizing your panel layout manager. I should have brought up my drawing tools. Give me just a moment while I pull those up. I use a very nice drawing tool application. It's called the Epic Pen that allows me to draw on the screen. So what I was trying to point to is this button up here on the top right corner of web trading. That allows you to select how many panels you want your web trading platform to have. If I click there, you get some sort of a thumbnail, pretty much telling you how many panels you will have. The one that I have selected, let me select this one that has 2 panels. Is the simplest one. Although I have 2 panels over here which run horizontally, I'm going to start off with this one that has 2 panels organized vertically. Okay, and as you can see, it splits up my screen in that way. I have a panel on the left-hand side and I have a panel on the right-hand side. Each one of the panels that you open up on web trading can hold up to 5 different tabs. Now the tabs are aligned right there at the top of the panel. Right here on the left-hand side, I have positions, orders, balances, and quotes. And here on the right, I have news, matrix, S&P, and option chain. Now, I'm going to go through some of these tabs and how you can access them. So let me go ahead and simplify the view. And I'm just going to get rid of some of these tabs. I'm going to get rid of news. I'm going to get rid of matrix and the option chain. I'm just going to leave a chart here on the right-hand side. And for here, I'm just going to close balances. I'm going to leave positions and orders open because I'm going to refer to them in just a moment. But I want quotes to be the very first tab. And I think I can click on that tab and change the order of those tabs. So that's very easily done. Just click on the tab and drag it and drop it in the location that you wanted. All right, I have my quotes list. Let me see if I can make my font a little bit bigger here. You can use the zoom of the browser to make things look a little bit larger. I like that feature. I think that's good. I'm using a 150%. All right, so I have my quotes. If you notice right here at the top of my quotes tab, there is a little drop down. I'm going to click there, and you have access to some lists that are pre-created for you. So this was added recently, like the Dow 30, the sector ETFs, or the futures. That was added recently, and you can use those if you want to. Now, you can create your own quotes list if you want. Those are the ones that I have here, like futures and quotes and my quotes. Those are things that I created myself. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my quotes. All right, so those are the symbols that I have in my quotes. You can see that on at the top and at the bottom, there's two boxes that allow you to very quickly enter a new symbol. Any company, you are welcome to type in the name of the corporation. So if I type in Visa, notice that it gives me everything that has the word Visa as part of the description, including Visa Incorporated, which is symbol V. Now, if you have typed a symbol that the network recognizes, you can just hit the enter key and the quotes window will grab it. But here you can click from the search results as well, and you can see how Visa was added at the bottom of my list. All right, so that's very simple to do. We have a preset list of columns. Let me make this panel a little bit larger as we concentrate on this. Notice that there's a little divider right here at the bottom that allows me to move that to the right hand side and give yourself a little bit more space on any of the panels that you need. So we have a preset number of columns. One of the things about quotes is that it's not like radar screen. So if you're used to the TradeStation desktop and you're running some advanced calculations in radar screen, that is probably something you cannot do here in quotes. Although quotes is very useful, because you have that portability, you have that flexibility of taking your TradeStation wherever you go, but it doesn't have, all the All right, can you guys hear me well? All right, perfect. Yeah, for a moment I thought I had to restart the whole room. I think I hit a a a road bump or something on the internet and it kicked me off. So hopefully we won't have those issues anymore. I was saying that for any questions that are not related to web trading, please join me at 11:30. I'm going to do a special Q&A and we can talk about anything you guys want. The Q&A is at 11:30, but it's on youcantrade.com. So you have to go there. It's not going to be live streamed to YouTube. It's one of the getting started free sessions that we do every Wednesday. So make sure that you join me at 11:30. All right. Yes. Someone's asking about, connectivity between the desktop and the web trading. At this time, there's no relationship between web trading and the desktop when it comes to symbols and when it comes to charts that you have open. Your trading account activity is all visible and accessible from both platforms, but the layout, the way that you're organizing your charts and the way that you're creating your symbol lists are independent from each other. So you have your own list of symbols on on web trading, and you have a separate list of symbols on the desktop application. We still don't have that ability for you to transition one to the other It's a shame, but we have to work with what we have. We are working on a solution that connects them very nicely, but at the moment, they're going to be a little bit independent. Okay, so we just added Visa right here at the bottom. How much is Visa? And we were talking about, columns and what you can do here in the quotes tab. If you notice on the top right corner of the panel, there's a little gear that represents settings. If I go to the settings of my quotes, I can see all the different studies that I can add. Of course, there are some studies here that are of technical nature. So you're going to find Bollinger Bands, you're going to find average true range, things like that that you usually don't find in a web application. But there's the list of columns that you find right here in the middle are the ones that are currently selected. So if I don't want to see the bid or the ask, I can just click on the X's right here on the left-hand side. And if I do want to see additional information, like let me just remove some of these. So volume today is fine. Next earnings report is fine. Let me remove this halted column. Let's say, for example, that I want to see the average true range, and I may want to see, who knows? Let's see. Let's do, let's see, the RSI. Some of these studies are not, very flexible when it comes to removing sub columns, and they do look very similar to the ones that appear on the TradeStation desktop. But let me go ahead and click OK. So now you can see that I have modified the columns. Now I removed some of the stuff that I didn't need, like bid and ask. I have the next earnings date report, the average true range, and I have the RSI. And when I was saying that the RSI doesn't have the same flexibility that you have on the desktop, these additional sub columns, the overbought and the oversold, cannot be removed yet. I think our development team is working on providing us a way to remove them, because it makes no sense to have a column that says 70 all the way down or 30 all the way down. So we need a way to remove those, but not available at the moment. I think it's not available at the moment. But these technical studies, of course, they will use a specific time frame. If you look over here on the left-hand side, you can see that interval can be adjusted for each one of the symbols. Now, if I click on, there's no, there's one other thing that I wish we had here, an overall time frame selection. So I don't have the ability to select them all to the same time frame at once. But if I want to see daily ATR on all these symbols, I'd have to change these one by one, which is okay, it's not a big deal, especially if you're wanting to have different calculations. What I would recommend is that if you want to see these same symbols on different time frames, maybe create different list of symbols, like create a custom list of symbols that is set to daily. Then you can have another, I think you can have another quote tab. I can see that the ATR is being recalculated and giving me a daily calculation instead of an intraday. All right. Okay, we're going to go into that. Shuba, he's asking right here on YouTube, a very good question, how to set up an alert on price using the web trading platform. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. In fact, just to answer the question directly, because why not? There are no alert settings in the web trading platform. Surprisingly, no. Let's see, app settings. There's no way yet that the browser will give us an alert, which is a shame, right? Sometimes you want to set up an alert. However, don't be discouraged, because the mobile app is great at setting up alerts. So even though open as soon as the TradeStation server, and when it's hit, TradeStation will send you a push notification to your phone, even without having the application have the full-blown desktop. Which is software that order that you submitted. So stay tuned. I already have a recorded class on mobile that is available right here in the TradeStation channel, the Getting Started channel on You Can Trade. So if you're on YouTube and you want to see a recording of that class, go to youcantrade.com, start with TradeStation channel, and you'll find a recording there. But on Wednesday, we're going to do it live, and you can ask some additional questions there. All right. Show that as an example in one of my presentations. So keep an eye or search for that archived video on the Gettings channel. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some charting. So charting is right here on the right side. Let me move my divider. And one of the things to do is I create a link in my quotes and my charting so that it's convenient for me to click on a symbol and have a chart loaded for it. So let me go ahead and move this so I can see the complete volume column. The linking button is right here on the tab. I'm going to click it and I'm going to turn it to a cyan color. And if I want to, also link the interval, I click on that option right there. That way, it'll not only link the symbol, but it'll also link the interval that is associated with that symbol. I'm going to come over here to the chart and I'm going to do the same thing. Symbol and interval, cyan. There we go, symbol and interval. So right now, if you look at my chart here on the right-hand side, is a chart of the S&P 500 index set to a 5-minute interval. But since I linked the two tabs on symbol and interval, whenever I click on any of these symbols, it'll load it. I'm going to click on Bank of America, which is set to daily right here. And that'll be transferred over here to my chart as soon as I click on the symbol. I'm going to do that once. And you can see that now I see a daily chart of Bank of America. If I come down here and I see the symbol that I added last, which was Visa, Visa is set to 5-minute. If I click on the V, now I see Visa right here set to a 5-minute chart. Very convenient, very easy to do. If you wanted to change the symbol up here, just click on where the symbol shows up at the top, and you can just type it in very easily as well. Let's say that I want to do, or I want to see the activity of Disney, DIS. I hit enter. Now I'm looking at Disney on a 5-minute chart. And if I want to change the time frame, I go here on the left-hand side. We have a very convenient toolbar for the charting. If I go to the time frame button, which right now it's set to 5 minutes, I can say, give me a daily chart of Disney. And that's what I see right now on the screen. For any technical studies, all you need to do is click on this science beaker. Those are the studies. You click there and you get a dialogue with everything that we provide. Let me add some Bollinger Bands, and let me add a MACD. Okay, notice how the indicators show up on the screen. If you want to expand the view on the chart, this is something that works really nice right here on web trading. You can use the mouse wheel to expand and contract the view. Very nice. Okay, you also have that ability that you find on the TradeStation desktop that allows you to click and squeeze the price scale on the right-hand side. And you also have that ability to move the background if you want. We also have that overlay at the bottom of the chart that resets the scale to automatic if you feel like you don't want to do a fixed scale anymore. So now I have my Bollinger Bands, I have my MACD. Let's suppose that I want to change the settings of the Bollinger Bands. Maybe I want to tweak the standard deviations. How do I do that? Well, let's go over here to Studies. So I'm going to have to go back to Studies. I see the ones that are currently selected, and there's a little caret right here that allows you to access the settings for each one of these technical studies. And in the Bollinger Band, I can set my MACD to something different. Let's say that I want to do 1 standard deviation rather than 2. I click OK. And the Bollinger Band's standard deviations are recalculated. And you can see that they're a little bit closer to the average. So you can affect the calculation of these technical studies by just going into the settings as I just did, okay? Again, no alerting. So if I go back here to the studies, you find that, yeah, there's no alert settings, there's inputs and there's colors. That's something that we're probably working on. I'm not really sure. Where's a trade bar? If I click on trade, the trade bar shows up. If I click on the X right here on the right-hand side, it goes back to the top, very easily and accessible. So just click on the big trade button at the top. But you can also trade from the chart. Let's say for Disney, maybe I want to buy them right now since there's a big push for the prices to go up. About 4 days ago, Disney was trading at 175, 76. Now it's, who knows? I want to buy 100 shares of Disney. I can click on trade right here at the top, but notice that as I hover over the chart, I get this little plus on the right side. I'm going to try to put my cursor right here and let's say that I want to buy them at 185. I know that it's trading at 183, but maybe I'm just waiting for it to push through 185 again. And if it does, I want to be a buyer thinking that it'll just continue pushing forward. So I'm going to try to put my crosshairs at 185. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit challenging because of how much detail there is on the scale. But don't worry, because if you click on the little plus, it'll give you the option to buy, sell short, or go to the trade bar. If I click on buy, then it gives me another modal, allowing me to adjust my price a little bit. So don't be afraid of clicking on the plus because there's still a couple steps before the order is submitted. So in this particular case, I'm going to do 100 shares and my price is going to be 185. My order type is going to be a stop market because I'm above what the current trading price is. I'm just going to click on buy. So this is my confirmation, buy 100 Disney at 185, stop market. I'm just going to send that. And there it is. My blue flag right there on the right-hand side represents my buy order. It's just sitting there. The nice thing about TradeStation platforms is that that order that I just submitted right here in web trading automatically shows up on my desktop and it shows up on my mobile app. If I were to log into my desktop, I would see it. I can manage it there as well. And vice versa. If you put in your trades on the desktop and then you have to go on, you have to travel or you have to go run an errand, you can still access that order from your web trading platform, or you can do it on the mobile device. Very useful. Let's make some changes to that order. Let's say, for example, that I want to bring it down to 184. Maybe I know it's getting closer to 184 right now. It's only 5 pennies away, and I want to increase my chances of getting in. I can click on that little flag once, and you get a set of buttons, an X to cancel the order and a CR button to cancel replace. If I click on CR, it opens up the dialog. I say, I want to buy at 184. I can just type that in and I say proceed. And as quickly as that, I just adjusted my order. Notice that it shows at 184. So if it hits 184, I'm going to get filled. All right, everybody good? Let me go ahead and cancel that order because I'm going to do that same order, but using the trade bar at the top. Let's suppose that, oh, did I just get filled? Yep, I just got filled. So it didn't quite give me a chance to cancel the order. Notice how the price went through 184 and it just filled me. It says that I'm long 100. That's okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at my position and how it's doing. I'm going to go here to the positions tab. And if you don't have a positions tab, just go to the next tab over. There's a little tab right here that allows you to open the positions tab. Okay. Keep in mind that you can only have up to 5 tabs on each panel. So if you already have 5 tabs, you're not going to see that little box here that gives you the menu. So 5 tabs per panel, but click on the little drop down just to open up positions if you don't have it. Every panel also has a maximize button. I usually like to, maximize it whenever I have multiple columns that I need to see. So let's go ahead and maximize this positions panel, and notice that now it takes up the whole screen. And if you can see, I have my Disney position right here, the 100 shares that I just traded. Right now I'm losing about $2 because the last price, okay, maybe this is, what price did I get filled at? Okay, it was a stop market order. What was my average price is 184.03. Everybody sees that? So that's why my stop was at 184, but it was a stop market order. Maybe there was some quick movement and my fill price was 184.03. So things to keep in mind. That's why, I saw the price and I said, well, why am I losing at 184 if that's the price that I got in at? No, I did not get in at 184. I got in at 184.03. So right now I'm losing about $20 in that position, which is okay, but I want to somehow protect my Disney position using some sort of a bracket. I'm not sure if you've heard the term bracket or OCO, but this is the way of you covering yourself in different scenarios. For example, if your position makes money, if it loses money, you are protected on both sides. If it makes money, you wanna have a way of capturing that money and then walking away. The same happens if it goes in the opposite direction. You want to make sure that you have something in place to protect you, just in case you're walking away from your computer. You don't want to leave your position open like it is. All right. So let's go ahead and do something. Those quotes are always updating in real time. So the prices that you see in the last column, they're always going to show you the most recent price. The 5-minute that we're putting in there applies to the technical studies. It's the type of data that is using for the historical calculations. For example, if you put in an RSI or an average to a range, is the type of data that's using for that calculation. But everything else like price, volume, is up to the, if I click it, notice how it says, it gives me some very quick button or action buttons. Close out market if I want to get rid of it right away. Reverse position, meaning that instead of having 100 shares long, if I click on this blue button, it'll close that long position and take me short on the same amount of shares. I'll be short 100. Interesting. If you want to reverse your position quickly, I don't use it very often. Or you can just click on the trade button, which will send you to the trade bar, is what I want to do right now. But if I go to the trade bar, notice that it sets the trade bar to the standard order. So it assumes that I want to just send one single order. And I can, I can say, well, Disney, 100 shares. Let's say, for example, that we want to do a trailing stop. I can do a trailing stop and I can say the amount that I want this to trail by is $1. And I'm going to set this as a GTC so that it doesn't get canceled at the end of the day. All right, it seems like it's getting a little bit stuck. So let's wait a moment here. There we go. So trail $1. I'm going to send it. All right. So yeah, it's not closed, but let's go ahead and check out what my order says. So I'm going to go to the orders tab. Again, if you don't have an orders tab, just click on this little tab and open up orders. You'll find it there. But you can see that I have my Disney received orders. It has a selling transaction, but what's the price on it? It's going to get me out at 182.73. Why 182.73? Because at the time that I submitted this order, Disney was one. Okay, so that's, let me see if this gives me my fill price. Okay, my fill price is 184.03. So keep that in mind. You know, when you set a trailing stop after the fact of having a position open, the trail amount will be based on the last traded price. Notice how my stop price just changed from 182.73. It actually went up to 182.75. So I know for a fact that the trailing is working. So interesting type of order. I keep on looking for the scroll bar down here, and the scroll bar is up here on the very last row. I'm not sure why they put it up there. Usually we look for a scroll bar down here, but if you want to scroll, it's up here on the right below the last row of information. Okay, let me go ahead and cancel that order. You can do it right from here. On the orders tab, notice that you have the X and the CR. If you click on the X, that is just a cancel order command. I'm going to proceed, and you can see how the order gets canceled. Now, what I wanted to do, though, is a bracket order. So let me go back to my positions. I'm going to click back on Disney, and I'm going to click on trade. I already have my position open, so I'm not going to use any of the entries. I don't want to create an OCO. What I want is a bracket that has a one limit and one mark and one stop. And this is the one that I'm going to select. You can see that it pairs up the two orders. You can see how they're connected here with a bracket. They're both selling transactions. They're both going to sell my 100 shares of Disney. I can say sell my Disney if it goes to 200. That's a far away target. I know it's trading at 185, but maybe that's what I'm shooting for. And my stop, let's say, for example, if it drops to 180, I want to get stopped. Now, I want those to be GTC. Make sure that you're aware of the duration of the order. If I leave them on day, those orders are canceled at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and I won't have a stop tomorrow. So make sure that if you want those orders to remain active until they get filled, that they're set to GTC. And once I'm ready, I'm just going to click on the send orders button here on the right-hand side. I get my confirmation with my two orders, and I send them. And that's it. If you go over here to the orders tab, you can see the two orders sitting right there for Disney. These are both selling transactions. And if I scroll to the right, my profit target's at 200 and my stop loss is 180. Let me restore the size of this panel. Remember that we maximized it just a moment ago. I'm going to click on this little button, and I want to show you those two orders right here on the chart. You see, those orders, even though we placed them using the trade bar, they still show up right here in the chart, and I can make modifications to those orders right here on the chart. Let's say that I say, well, maybe the 200 target is a little bit too optimistic. Maybe I want to bring it down to 190 instead. Well, let's go ahead and click on the red flag, do a cancel replace, and say instead of 200, I'm going to shoot for a price of 190, and I'm going to say proceed. And there we go. Now we have our target at 190, and we have our stop right here at 180. Does that make sense? So anything you place right here in web trading, you can modify very easily. And not only here in web trading, I can grab my phone and still be able to modify those orders if I wanted to. So it's a very nice functionality. Let me show you some other features here in the side of web trading so you know exactly what to expect. We're almost getting ready to end our session, and there's some things that I wanted to talk to you about. Options. I have a position open here on Bank of America. Let's talk about my Twitter position instead. Twitter, I have 100 shares. Let me take a look. 100 shares, I got them at $70.13. Last price is $71.46. They're kind of, making some money at the moment. Let's suppose that we want to do a protective put on this position. We want to buy the right to sell them at a certain price. And I'm going to buy the right to sell them at, let's say I got in at 70, it's 71 right now. Let's say that we want to sell them at 72, and we want to buy that right. Let me go ahead and click on one of the little, or the little piece of tab here to open up what's called an option chain. Okay, I'm going to put the symbol up here. What did we say that we were trading? Short-term memory. Twitter. Okay. TWTR. Let's load it up right here in my option chain. Let's suppose that I'm expecting to move to 72 sometime before the first week of August. So I can take a look at this weekly option, August 6th. Click here. In parentheses, it tells me there's 23 days before the expiration. And I can look at the 72 strike, and I can see that the put is being sold for $4.70. If I want to buy that put, it's sold for $4.65. I want to click here and notice that that is sent automatically right here to my options order bar for me to place that trade. Since I have 1,000 shares, I'm going to increase my quantity to 10 contracts. Let's say that I want to do a limit order, and my limit price is going to be the natural. Natural is what is being sold at the moment. If you want to buy it at the natural price, you are increasing the chances of getting filled because there's a seller at 470. I'm going to send the order and send it. So let's go ahead and check to see what happened to that order. And right here, I have a partially filled order. Partial fill alive. So it filled me on 4. Quantity left on 6. So I can cancel. What happened, it probably moved at the time that I submitted the order. So this is a partially filled order. But I can click on cancel replace and do the natural pricing one more time. Proceed. Oh, it's interesting that, okay, now I have 8 filled, 2 remaining. Let's see if it fills the rest. I keep on checking to see what the natural price is still 470. And I guess it's just slowing getting them filled. But this is the way that you put in a options order. You pull up the option chain, and it gives you all sorts of things that you can modify. I mean, you have the expirations running across. You can select puts or calls. You have different strikes. The strikes are controlled by this little drop down. If you want to see more strikes, you can. And you also have a spread selector if you want to, trade a specific spread. If I go to all and I say, let me trade a vertical instead. So vertical, let's see. All right, so we have, they're separated by strategy here. So we have, the short put vertical right here on the bullish side. On the bear side, we have the long put vertical and the short call vertical. On the neutral, we don't have any verticals, and volatile, and we don't have any verticals. So it does organize them by strategy, which is really interesting, especially for those that are getting started with options. But if you go here to all, they're going to be sorted in alphabetical order. And I suppose that, let me go back in there. Drop down, all, scroll down, vertical is at the way at the bottom. If I click on vertical, you can see that it's going to do nothing because nothing happened. Let me do that again. All, and I'm going to click on, okay, all, vertical. Seems doesn't want to take it. Let's see if you do long, call vertical, that takes. All, vertical. Not take it on my side. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if it's happening to you guys as well, but it seems like it's not taken on my side. All right. So yes, options trading is available, and it's something that you can do very quickly. This is interesting. So with long call vertical. Okay, so the long call vertical allows you to do the selection, and then it just helps you. See how the option chain is highlighting the column for you to focus on what's important on the long called vertical. So the other two columns or the other three columns are grayed out, because if you're going to be long the call vertical, you click on the ask. Okay. All right. All right. So if I go here to all, so it says, let me try that one. My trade bar, go to all. Okay. Not sure what's going on here. But let's go ahead and if you want to individually select the legs of your options, just go here to custom. Sometimes I go into custom and I say, well, let me create the vertical myself. And I say, I want to, I want to buy the 70 and then I want to sell the 72. And as long as you have custom in here, and every leg will be added to the order bar as you click on it. So I find that very useful. And I just, you can trade that vertical that way as well. So that's in terms of options. And please make sure that you look for that option chain. Another tab that I like to use, you will see the number of shares that are waiting on either side, on the bid or ask, and how many shares are on either side. And you can pretty much, put in your trades here as well. I already have a position on Twitter, so let me go here to something different. Let me go back to the matrix, and let's see that I want to do Home Depot. Do I have a position on Home Depot? I do have a position on Home Depot. Let's go to Microsoft. All right, so I don't have a position on Microsoft. If I wanted to buy, Microsoft, I click on the blue. And if I wanted to sell Microsoft, I click on the sell. So if I want to buy, let's say, for example, at 282.90, I click here. The order is sent. And it shows right here on my matrix the same way that it does on the TradeStation desktop matrix. But I can click and drag that order as you go along. So that's one of the nice features of the matrix, the clicking and dragging. But you don't have any of the OCO and OSO functionality that you find on the desktop version. So that's one of the things that are missing on the matrix on the web trading version. You can access your balances. We already talked about quotes. We already talked about option chains. The hot list are very quick way of you getting the top 25 symbols that meet certain criteria. In this example right now, I have money gainers. So you can see that NVR is the one that has gained the most in one day. It gained $41. But of course, it makes sense because it's a stock that's trading at 4,862. So we're going to see, the big players here, the ones that are highly priced, like Google, Amazon, Netflix, Lulu, they all show up here because it's understandable and very obvious that they will have the most money gain. But if you go to a percent gain, for example, that's a little bit more useful because now it's in relationship to its value. So you can see that at the very top, we have this symbol WHLM, which gained 78% from yesterday's close. You can see that it's trading at $8 right now, but it opened at $4. So it's linked. Sure. I lost you guys again, so sorry about that. Let me share my screen one more time. For some reason, my internet is not cooperating with me today. Let me see if I can refresh this. Let's try that link one more time. Okay, there we go. So it was an internet issue. Let me go here to a 5-minute time frame, and you can see the big price increase since the opening of this morning. What happened to this symbol? What the symbol is? I have no idea. I don't think I've heard of this symbol before, WHLM. Maybe you guys know what the symbol represents, but it's so nice that I can go here on web trading, open up a hot list and find, stocks like this that are experiencing some sort of unique behavior. Okay, that's the hot list right there. And last, the news. If I go to the news tab, let me open this up. This is one of the views that provides news articles. Right here on the far right, top right, you have different views. Right now, I have some sort of a graphics list view, but you can go to the middle one, which I think it's the default one. This is the one that gives you big graphics and big headlines, and you can scroll down and see all the different headlines for the ones that are coming through. If you want to simplify the view, you can use this first one, which is more organized towards the left-hand side, or just a plain list like the one here on the far right. Sometimes I like to look at big pictures, but the nice thing about the news tab right here in web trading is that you can filter it very nicely here by symbol or by category. If you go here to this drop down, and let's say, for example, that you want to see top stories, well, that's the one that I have right now, top stories. But if you want to see all categories on all channels, then it changes everything. Then you see everything that comes through. Let's see this one right here. American Airlines stock breaks downtrend, time to buy. I click it, and then it opens up the news article for me. I have this back button that takes me to where I was before. Actually, no, this makes, maybe there's no, okay, there we go. So I get news articles that are related to Visa, or that at least mention Visa. So here's Dogecoin moving today. I'm pretty sure that Visa is going to be mentioned here somewhere. Not sure, maybe. Do you guys see Visa anywhere? Maybe not. We see Tesla. We see some crypto reference. I don't see Visa here, so wonder why this headline came up. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say this one right here. So we have PayPal, we have Netflix, Amazon, Apple. Here we have MA. Here it is, Visa. You see, there's other big names in the financial world like Visa. So even though the articles or the news headline is not specifically related to Visa, it does allow you to see news articles that mention or make reference to Visa. Okay, let me bring up my chat window here from Zoom. All right, so I don't see any more questions, and we're reaching the end about web trading. But keep in mind that TradeStation has 3 different platforms. It has the desktop version, which is the one that has the most functionality and the one that allows you to do more advanced, because it gives you that portability. It also gives you a more simple layout than the desktop. There's a minimal learning curve when it comes to web trading, and those are one of the benefits, or some of the benefits, of web trading. And there's the third one, the third platform, which is the mobile app. We're going to talk about mobile app next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that class. I'll send out a reminder. I wanted to point out also that if you go to youcantrade.com, let me just pull it up here. This is You Can Trade. If you look at the left navigation bar and you look at the channels by TradeStation Securities, Getting Started is where we're doing the Q&A. So just open up the Getting Started channel and the meeting will load up right here on the channel dashboard. But here on the far right, there's a text enable functionality that allows you to connect with me. Every time that I do a Getting Started class, I send out a text notification letting you know what the class is going to be about. And if you do have, the mobile app, the YCT, I'm talking about not the TradeStation mobile app, I'm talking about the YCT mobile app, we'll also send you a push notification about the class topics. But if anybody here has any questions, especially those of you that are on YouTube, if you have any follow-up questions on TradeStation, join me at 11:30, which is 5 minutes from now, right here on You Can Trade, and I'll take your questions right here at TradeStation. Goodbye, everyone.